Hello all, welcome to Tech Capture. So in this video, we are going to create one more amazing data engineering project. So previously we mostly worked on the ETL data engineering pipeline, and few of my subscribers commented that I should work on ELT pipelines as well. So in this video, I'm going to create ELT pipeline, and the interesting stuff, we are going to create a pipeline for the 1 million records. So even the records are 1 million, our pipeline will complete within a 1 minutes. Okay, that is the one more thing. And second thing, in the last video a lot of users commented they are not able to create a cloud composer environment in the free trial, and they are not able to complete their project. So in this video I'm going to solve this issue. So I'm going to set up a Airflow on a virtual machine with very easy simple steps. Within a 5 to 6 minutes we'll set up our Airflow on our Google Cloud Compute Engine, and we'll use that Airflow for our data pipeline. Okay, so this is going to be very interesting project. You just stay till the end and you will learn a lot of things from this project. Okay, so let's go and start our project.
Now let's start working on our project. So this is data engineering project in Google Cloud, where we'll be automating ELT data pipeline with Airflow. So in our previous videos, we created a ETL data pipeline where we worked on cloud function, we worked on data flow, we worked on data fusion and Airflow, and we orchestrated our data pipeline using Airflow. So in this video, we are first going to extract, load, and then transform almost 1 million records. So these are 1 million records we are going to process, and we'll see how the performance will be when we are using the Airflow. So one important things we are going to do in this video. So in previous video, as I said, a lot of users have faced issue while creating the composer environment. So here the first step we'll be doing setting up our own Airflow environment on a virtual machine. So that will be a very easy simple step, and anyone can do this if they have access to Google Cloud virtual machines. Okay, so do not worry, I'm going to tell you at the beginning of this video how we can set up Airflow on a virtual machine. So now before starting into our project, let's try to understand the difference between ETL and ELT. So these terms or difference is very simple. In ETL is extract, transform and load, and ELT is extract, load and transform. So it depends when you are transforming your data. So suppose I am getting raw data, I am just transforming. I am getting 100 columns, I need only 5 columns, and then I am loading that 5 column into BigQuery. So it is your ELT. Let's say example in our previous pipeline. So we got the data, we transform that in your data fusion and then loaded into the BigQuery. So that is the ETL pipeline, because we are transforming data before loading into the BigQuery. But suppose I want to have access to my raw data. So in this case I will not have access to my raw data, because that I already loaded and file I might have deleted. A CSV file is a raw data that I have not stored somewhere. Okay, but in ELT what you will do, you will just extract data, you will load as it is, and then you will transform that data. So what you will have, you will have raw data, you will have transform data, and you can work on that data and a data processing. So that is the difference between ETL and ELT. So this video we are going to create ELT data pipeline, where we are extracting 1 million record, we are loading that 1 million records into BigQuery, and then we are transforming that data into a BigQuery. So mostly we are going to use Airflow and BigQuery in this project. So let me show you the requirement. So requirement is simple. Okay, so I'm just trying to create one dummy requirement here. So we have a global health statistic data, that is a one CSV file which contains a 1 million record, and that file contains the data of all country. But I need to send the data of each country to their respective health minister, and I need to maintain that data, and I have to provide the solution for visualization where they can work on that health statistic data related to the diseases, data related to the vaccination, or the diseases where there is no vaccination or no treatment is provided. So their doctors or their medical research team can work on that data and create treatment, or work on the treatment, or do a research on their treatment or vaccination. But currently the challenges is this data is in a single file and 1 million record, so not possible to send that file to each country, because each data of each country's data is confidential, and you cannot send suppose USA data to UK or UK data to USA. So you have to give access to only respective countries data to the respective health minister. Okay, so now our objective is develop a robust data analytics solution to securely manage and filter this data, ensuring a restricted access and enabling efficient analysis of diseases without available treatment or vaccination. So this might look complex, but just assume we have to create a pipeline where we'll load data somewhere and we'll create some visualization and we'll give access to that visualization to respective finance minister. Why we are going to create visualization? Because these are the medical research team, and definitely they will not understand the SQL, or they will not have capabilities to do SQL queries. So we have to give them access to the data solution where they can just apply some filters and do a research on their own data. So how we are going to achieve this? Okay, so this is simple architecture. So this is data we are getting, the global data, the CSV file with 1 million records. So assume this we are getting from WHO. Okay, and that file we are getting in the cloud storage. Now from here our pipeline will start. So we are picking our cloud storage file using the airflow sensor. So we'll talk about in detail about sensor. So airflow dag or airflow job will pick our file, then it will load into the query dataset, and it will create the staging layer. So staging where our raw data will be available. Then we'll create some transformation. So suppose we have 1 million records here for all country. We are transforming that data and creating separate tables into transform dataset. Now in transform dataset we will have separate table for each country. In staging we'll have raw data and only one table for a global data. Okay, in transform dataset we'll have a separate table for each country, and each country table have access or have data related to only their country. And in reporting we'll create some views, because in views we'll be building a looker report, and these views have only a required data, and we'll build dashboards and reports on a looker studio and will give access to each country. So this is a simple architecture we are going to implement, and at the end how our airflow pipeline will look like, let me show you that. So this is our end result. So this will be our airflow pipeline going to look, and we'll implement all these things end to end, from set up our airflow till successful execution of pipeline and building a looker report. So all things we are going to do in this video. So just stay tuned till the end and we'll see how we can create such a complex pipeline. So this is looking complex, but trust me, this is a very simple pipeline and we will get a lot of learnings from this video. So you can check here. So first we are checking if file is available in the bucket. If we are not putting this here, my DAG will fail. So first I am checking if file exists. If my file exists, then only it is triggering my load job, and once the data is loaded into my staging layer, then it is creating the separate table for each country. Now you can see it is created separate table for USA, separate for Brazil, France, and then it's creating a separate views for each country, and it's just checking this success. If all these tasks are successful, then my DAG will become successful. So that pipeline we are going to create in this video. So this video might become longer, but just have patience and you will learn a lot of things from this video. Now first thing, I'll go and set up airflow environment. So here, as I mentioned, I'll be creating airflow on a virtual machine. It will just reduce our cost and complexity. So we'll just create our airflow environment on Google Cloud virtual machine within a 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so just go to Google Cloud Console now and create our airflow environment first.
So I am into my Google Cloud project. So first we'll go to Compute Engine and set up our Airflow environment. So I'll go to Compute Engine and create a EC2, not EC2, is Google Compute Engine VM instance with the default configuration. So currently there is no instance available. So this is a new project. So I'll go and create instance. I'll give the name as a Airflow. Okay, machine type I'll choose as the default one. Then I'll go to OS. This again I'll keep the default one. Okay, networking. So networking I will keep the default. So I need HTTP traffic. So to execute or to run my Airflow web server, so I'll just allow HTTP. Okay, I'll use the default network again. I'll go to observability, nothing, security. So one thing, this is important thing here, you have to allow full access to all cloud API, because your Airflow will write to your BigQuery, so you need write access to BigQuery. If you go with the default access, so it will have read-only access. So just go to full access to all cloud API, so will not face any permissions issues. Okay, and then go and simply create your Google Compute Engine instance. Okay, so it will take around a minute to get your instance started. Now how to set up Airflow on your Linux VM. Okay, so that steps I already created a blog on my site. So here you can see running Apache Airflow on virtual machine. So you also watch my videos which I created on setting up Apache Airflow on virtual machine, so you can watch this video. But for now I'm just following the steps into this blog. Okay, so just you have to follow along with me, and within a 5 minute we'll set up our Airflow environment. So let's see if VM is available now. Okay, so VM is available, so let's do SSH. So if it is not allowing, then you have to create a firewall for this separately. Okay, because as I said, this is my brand new project and there might not be a firewall. So let me go to the default network and check if firewall is available there. So allow SSH. Okay, allow SSH firewall is there. Okay, so it should allow me to log in. Okay, so I am into my instance now. So let's go back and follow the steps. So first I'll execute this command, so it will install python 3 pip and virtual environment. Okay, so I'll just go here and I'll execute. Okay, so now installation is done. Let's start Airflow now. Okay, how to start Airflow? So these are the single service we are starting, but as I said, starting all component together, so we can simply do Airflow standalone. But if we do it and close our window, it will again terminate my Airflow. So for this I have also given the command, so we can start Airflow using this command no hub, so it will keep running at the background. Okay, so just start Airflow. Okay, and now I'll open new instance or new session. Okay, so what I'm doing this, I'll tell you now. So now let's see first if our Airflow is up and running now. Or let me show you first, standalone, because you will understand a lot of things there. So let me go back and run first standalone Airflow. So I'll just run it without a background process. So I'll just start it. Why, I'll tell you. If I am starting, it will show you the exact process what it is doing, and it will also give us a password which we have to use while logging into Airflow. Now you can see it is giving all the process what it is doing, and at the end it will give us, now it started web server, here it started scheduler, so it is giving all the services here one by one. Now you can see this line is important. Airflow is ready, login with username admin and password this, so this is required. Okay, first thing. So now what we'll do, we'll go to this IP, and here we'll see our Airflow instance, but this is HTTPS, so we need HTTP. So I'll just copy HTTP and this IP, and port is 8080, that is Airflow default port. So it will have our Airflow homepage. Now you can see it is showing connection timeout. So whenever we get connection timeout, it is a firewall issue. So what we'll go to a default network and we'll see if we have firewalls on a port 8080. I'll go to a firewalls, go here, and here you can see HTTP is allowed on port 80, that is why it is not working. So we have to allow firewall on port 8080. So here I'll just do 80, save, and now it should immediately work. As soon as it's saved, I'll just reload this page, and it should work now. Now you can see sign in Airflow and it will show the home page. Now what should be the username should be admin and password should be this one, sign in. So now you can see a lot of DAGs available here. These are the example DAGs. Okay, so if you don't want to see these, you can just hide this. How to hide this, I'll show you. So in my previous video I already shown how to set up Airflow on virtual machine, but still I will show you. So now all logs are here and you are not able to do anything on this terminal. So if you close this terminal, what will happen, your Airflow will crash and it will not load again. So that's why I was saying you about the nohub command. So in nohub, if you are running using the nohub, it will keep running at the background and you will also see the admin password and username. Okay, so now it is running, so I'll just close this and I'll just open the new tab, and here just go to ls, go to Airflow folder, ls, and you will see this file will have your password. Okay, so username is always admin and password you can see in this file. Okay, first thing. Second thing, the most important thing is your airflow.config file. So now I'll open airflow.config file. Okay, and now first thing is, where is your DAX folder? So this is under Airflow DAX. So I'll just note this down. So few things you have to note, I'll just note it down. Okay, and we have to hide the example DAX, right? So there is one variable which will load the example DAG. Yeah, load example true, so I'll set it false. Okay, and I'll save this file and I will just restart my Airflow again. So I'll just close this. Okay, and I'll restart my Airflow now. So I'll just start again, and now let me reload this. So it should not show me all the DAGs again now. Now you can see all example DAGs are hidden now. Okay, so these are some warning that we are using SQLite because I just want to use this for this project. So I'm not recommending to create separate cloud SQL instance and all this stuff. So you can use the SQLite. This is sufficient for this project in the free tier. Okay, now our Airflow is set up. Now we have to start working our DAG. So before that I will show you the file. So our file, we have CSV file here. This is having 1 million record. So this is our source data. You can see here, I'll just show you the records. You can see these are 1 million records. So this is our source file which contains the data of all country. So this file will upload to a cloud storage bucket, and from there it will be picked by our Airflow DAG. So what I will do, I will create one storage bucket as well. So I'll simply click on create bucket. I'll just give the unique name. So I'll just give BigQuery src global data. Okay, so let's see. Okay, this name is available, and let's, so I'm using the multi-region US here, and let's create confirm. Okay, and we'll upload our source file into this bucket, but not now. We'll do it once we create our first DAG. Okay, so I have some files now. So let's see if our Airflow is here. Now how to create your DAG. Okay, so DAG is nothing but directed acyclic graph. So this is kind of job in Airflow. I'll close this now. Even though I close, it will run at the background. I'll keep one open. Okay, and one thing I noted, so this folder, so what is this path? So this is your Airflow home, and within this you have to create DAX folder, and whatever Python file you will keep here as a DAG definition file will create your DAG. So now I have my VS code. So here I have 5 DAG. Okay, because I'm going step by step. So first, our target is to load data into BigQuery. So pick the data from the CSV file and load into BigQuery. So this is my simple DAG. Okay, so this is the default argument you need. These are the dependencies and operator we are going to use. So we are going to use GCS to BigQuery operator. So what this operator does, let me show you that. This is one of the Airflow operator. GCS to BigQuery operator. So this module contains Google Cloud Storage to BigQuery operator, and it will help to load data into a BigQuery. So it will pick the data from GCS bucket. So it will work on CSV file, newly deleted JSON, Auro, Google Sheet, and Packet. So a lot of option it is having. So we are going to use this operator. Okay, and so this operator will pick the file from GCS bucket and it will load the data into BigQuery. So we have to pass some parameters. So first, DAG ID. So this is actual name of our DAG. So this will just give, I'll just give load GCS to BQ. Okay, so I'm just giving the number here. Okay, so just assume this is our first DAG. So this is our first DAG. So I'll give load GCS to BigQuery. So this will load CSV file from BigQuery. This keep as a default, no issues. Tags, I'll just give some tag. So this is our DAG name, DAG details. Now this is our task. So this task will load your CSV file into a BigQuery using this operator. So operator is kind of function you can assume which we are using as it is and passing parameters. Now, task ID is CSV to BQ. That is fine. This is our task ID. Bucket, so bucket name we have to change, which we created now. So I'll give this bucket name. Okay, so this is my bucket name. File name, so this is file name is correct. So this is my file name, global health data.csv. This file name is correct. Now destination project dataset. Now we have to create a dataset in BigQuery. So let's go and create a dataset in BigQuery where we have to load our data. So as I said, we are working on the ELT pipeline. So we'll extract the data from CSV, which will be in our storage bucket, and from here we'll load the data into BigQuery and then we'll transform. Okay, so I'll go to BigQuery now. And here I will create dataset. So as I said, I'll be working. So here if we see, first we'll load the data in the staging dataset. So that is our staging layer. Then we'll transform into transform dataset, and then in the reporting we will have views. So go to BigQuery and I will create my staging dataset here. So create dataset. Okay, and I will just give the name staging dataset, where we will store our raw data. So keep it US, create dataset. Okay, so we have staging dataset, so we can give the name. So this thing we have to copy and we have to add here. So this will be your dataset, and again you have to give your table name. So if table is not created, that is fine, it will create a table automatically. So I'll give the table name as global data. Okay, so this will be my table name, this will be my dataset, and this is my project. Source format is CSV file. So this is required, right truncate, skip leading row, that is required. There is our header, field delimiter, comma, auto detect true. So this is again required if you want to give or auto detect the column names from the CSV. Okay, and this is our first. Now we'll create this simple DAG first. So this DAG only load data from CSV file to BigQuery.
So how we can create the DAG from this file? So you have to just create, as I said. So let's say this is your DAG folder. So currently this DAG folder is not created here. Okay, so if I do ls-ltr, so DAX folder is not created, so I have to create DAX folder for my first DAG. Okay, now I'll go to DAX. Here I'll create my first DAG, so I'll just give name nano, and I will give the name, so I'll give the name dag1. So this you can give anything because your DAG definition file have your DAG name, so I'll just give dag1.py. okay, now I pasted my file here. Okay, and this will be your DAG name, load GCS to BQ. Now one more thing, so if I go to my Airflow, so currently there are 0 DAG, but if I save this file and wait for some time, it will show me a DAG if there are no syntax error. If there are any error, it will show import error. Okay, so I'll just save my file now. Okay, and then you have to go and reload this, so it will take around 30 seconds to 40 seconds or sometimes minutes, so you have to wait till the time it will show you a DAG here. So I'll just wait for a few seconds and then reload again. So it's almost 30 seconds now. Let me just reload again. Yeah, now you can see load GCS to BQ. This was the name we have given, load GCS to BQ. So this is DAG name. So let's open this DAG. Currently this is pause status. Okay, so I'll just go inside it and will show you how it look like. Okay, so this is your look of your default page, but always go to graph. Here you will have a good visualization. So now currently there is only one task, that is standalone task, and if you click on code, you will see whatever code you have added in your file. Okay, now suppose I'll trigger my DAG. So simply to trigger your DAG, you have to go and trigger from here. You can see button here, trigger DAG. Now if I trigger it, what will happen? It will fail immediately, but at the second times you can see it is up for retry, because in our argument we are mentioned a retries 1. Okay, so it will keep retrying here. So now you can see the logs. Click on it and then go to logs. So you will see the logs. CSV file not found. So it failed because there is no CSV file found on this location. That is expected because we have not uploaded the file yet, but we want to make sure our DAG should not fail when there is no file. It should wait for a file. How we can do that? So we have to add one sensor, one task before to this DAG or before to this load BigQuery task, so that it will wait for a file. If file is there, then only it will start loading the data. So what I will do now, I'll just mark it failed. Okay, I'll just mark it failed. So this is not working properly because it should wait for a file. So now I have a second DAG. So this is a sensor where what I am doing, I am first checking if file exists. So it is a sensor. Sensor is to check something. So this is GCS object existence sensor. So what it will do, it will check if object is exist in the GCS bucket. Which object? This is the object. In which bucket? This is the bucket. So we have to replace a bucket name. So what was our bucket name? So this is our bucket name. So I will go and replace this bucket name. So I have to replace here as well. Okay, and also I have to replace the table details. Okay, I'll save this and now I'll create my DAG2. So in the same folder I'll create dag2.py. So now it will have two tasks. First, which will check for file. If file exists, then it will start loading, else it will wait for file. Okay, now let's go to Airflow again, go to DAG. So currently there is only one DAG which is in active state, so we'll wait for 30 more seconds and it will show our next DAG as well. So what's the name of our next DAG? So check and load CSV to BigQuery. So now we added, just appended the check. Okay, so let's wait for 30 seconds now. Now let's see after a few seconds if we can see. Yeah, so our new DAG is here, and let's see if we have two tasks now. If I go to graph, now you can see first it is checking for file exist. If it is there, then it is loading my CSV file into BigQuery. So now I'll just trigger my DAG now. Okay, so let's go here and trigger DAG. Go to graph again. Now even though we still do not have a file in our GCS bucket, it is running. Okay, so it is running now, and let's say in the logs what is going on. So now you can see sensor check existence of this file. So it did not find the file, but let's go again and check the sensor configuration. So we are checking every 30 seconds. Okay, and it will check for 5 minutes. So now first, this is first attempt, it checked there is no file, it will wait for 30 seconds. Okay, this is the second attempt. Now this is first attempt. Okay, this is second attempt. Now it's still not received file, and our DAG is still in running state. What I will do now, I'll just upload the file now. So I'll go and upload files. So I have this file, global health data CSV. So it is 128 MB file, so it will take few seconds. So at the bottom you can see upload started here. Okay, so it will take few seconds. So my file is uploaded now here. Let me refresh, and now let's check here, check the log now. Okay, so it is still waiting for file. Okay, sensor check existence, and once it received the file, it will check file received or criteria met. Okay, so it is still waiting for file. Let's reload. You can see success criteria met, and now this task is successful. So if you go now to the graph, so first task is successful, and now it is running load CSV to BigQ. In BigQuery currently we do not have any table in staging dataset, but now it will create new table called global data, and it will load our 1 million records if DAG is successful into this table. Okay, it is running now. Let's check the log. Okay, so it is inserting data, so it should work successfully. Okay, now you can see even though it is 1 million records, within 30 to 40 seconds, you can see 29 seconds it took. Within 29 seconds the DAG is successful, and it loaded 1 million records from CSV to BigQuery. Let's validate that. So in staging dataset we should have a raw data, and we should have a table called a global data. Let me reload that. Okay, so in dev, so we have staging dataset. Open a staging dataset. We have global data. Okay, this table is created. Let's validate the data. Okay, all columns are here, whichever available in the CSV file. Let's see if we have 1 million record. See, 1 million records are loaded. Total size in BigQuery is 167 MB. Let's check the preview. We have data. Okay, now you can see we have all the data. So this is our raw data. So the loading is completed. Now the transformation. Let's go back here. Okay, now we created Airflow DAG, which is loading, picking the file from the CSV and loading into our dataset, that is our staging dataset, and it is the global data. Now our requirement, we have to create separate table for each country. Now let me create one more DAG. So I'm just, instead of updating, just for your understanding, I'm creating the separate DAG. So we are going step by step. So now the transformation. So now I have created this DAG. The first two tasks are same. Okay, so check file exist, this is DAG definition, this is check file exist, this is loading into BigQuery. Now I am creating one more DAG, so which will create task and create separate table for each country. Okay, so here I am giving
countries in the variable. And here I created some more variable: project ID, dataset ID, source table. So what I will do here, I will create dataset ID and one more variable. Now we are creating in the transform layer, so I will create transform dataset ID and I will give here name as transform dataset. Okay, so just let's add few more country here. So let's add Japan, let's add France, let's add Canada. Okay, so I'm just adding more countries here. Okay, and let's add Italy as well. Okay, so we should be good. So we added these many countries and we added one more task. So what this is doing, let me explain now. So task ID create country lower, so this is for each country. So it will take first country, that is USA. It will execute this with the name USA, create replace table. So this will be under transform dataset. Okay, and it will create with the USA name table and it will get the data only for USA. And this is upstream to load CSV to BigQuery. It means it will get triggered only when this is completed. So this is a task dependency, and this is task dependency we have mentioned in previous as well, that only when check file exists it should execute your load CSV to BigQuery. Okay, let's save this and create our DAG3. Now this will have your checking file, loading data and creating table, that is your transformation. Nano dag3.py, paste data, control S, control X, go back here and I'll go to DAGs and I will wait for few seconds again to get my third DAG. So let me verify the name. So third load and split CSV to BigQuery. I want to change the name, so I'll just change the name to load and transform. Okay, so this is my DAG name. Okay, so I will keep this only, and in our file as well I'll just update. So here you can simply update load and transform, control S, control X. Okay, now let's wait on the UI to see our third DAG. Okay, let's wait for some second. Okay, let's refresh now and check our third DAG is available. Yeah, you can see load and transform is available now. Let's open and check the graph. Okay, now you can see it is checking the file, it is loading into BigQuery, and then it is creating table for Germany, creating table for India, then USA, Italy, Japan, Canada and France. Okay, so now if I start executing it, it will fail for first time because we do not have a transform dataset created, we only have a staging dataset. Okay, let me just simplify it. Okay, so what it is showing for this project. Okay, fine, I don't want this. Okay, so we have only staging dataset, we do not have transform dataset, we have to create it manually. Okay, so what I will do, I'll create a transform dataset as well. Okay, so I have created transform dataset, and now I will create trigger my DAG. So my DAG we'll first check for the file, load the data. Now one question you might have, that we already have data in our global table. Okay, so this check the last modified time. Then if we load the data again, will it fail, or it will just double the data, it will duplicate the data, what it will do? So let's go back and check how we are loading the data. So we are loading data with a truncate mode, means this complete file will be loaded every time. It will first truncate the table, it will delete old data, and then it will load the new data. So that's why even if we load the file again, it will not impact, because it will just change the modified date and it will again have the new 1 million column. Okay, let me show you that. So I'll just go and trigger the DAG. Okay, so let's check the timing. 6:47 we triggered. Go to graph, file, it got the file because file is already in the storage bucket. Now it immediately completed. Now it is loading into BigQuery, and this task will be executed one by one. Okay, so now it is running. So if I show in BigQuery, so that last modified is 12:06 for now. Okay, so this is the India time it is showing. So once this complete, okay, this completed, let me refresh now. So this modified time will change now. Let's pay attention to this 12:06. Okay, now it is 12:18 because the data is loaded now, and it is still have 1 million. This is the latest 1 million. And now you can see the table created for India, created for USA, so created for Italy. Okay, Italy is still queued. So let's check the transform. Okay, so it is creating the table now one by. So let's check for India, and if our logic is working correctly. Okay, in the details, okay, 49,000. Okay, fine. In preview, let's see if country is India, because this is the table for India. It should have data only for India. Okay, so for Japan, it should have data only for Japan. Okay, this is completely fine now. Let's see if it is completed. No. Okay, it's completed now. So all our DAG is working fine. So this is extract, transform, extract, load, and then we transform. But this is not a complete transformation, because we have to build a reporting as well. And if we build reporting on top of the tables directly, we will not get the good performance. Also, now suppose these all columns will not be need in a reporting, so I just need first 5 column, 1 2 3 4 5. So I just need a first 5 columns in my report, and if I building report on complete table, it will have a lot of cost as well as lot of performance issues. So what I will do now, so I will just create a views on top of that. So this is my staging layer, which is have a raw data. This is transform layer, which is have transform data. I will create one reporting layer, which will have a data which is only needed for my Looker Studio reports. So I'll just give the name a reporting dataset. Okay, I'll create dataset, and now I will create my final DAG. I'll go to my final view DAG. So this is a final, so you can ignore this final.py. So we will use this final view.py file. So this is my final DAG, which will have additional 2 steps. So which additional 2 steps? So let me so first I added one variable here for reporting data set. Okay, so this DAG definition will remain same, so I just change the new name of that DAG to load and transform view. Okay, so this will again remain same. It will check for the source file. This will remain since it will check for source file and then load data into BigQuery. So this creating table will also remain same, which will create table for each country in our transform layer. So this is the additional things we have added. So here we are adding a views here. So what we are doing, we are create or replace view. Okay, and we are creating views with these 5 columns only. So we are taking only first 5 columns. So this is a kind of transformation we are adding, and we are only getting the data for which
the vaccinations or treatment is not available, that is availability of vaccine treatment is equal to false. We are only taking that data because that is only required to health minister for research. That is our requirement. Okay, so we are creating the views. Okay, and we are just giving the dependency for create table task. It will first check for load CSV to BigQuery task is completed, and view will only trigger when the create table is completed. Okay, and then we added just one dummy task which will just check if all these tasks are completed, and it will just mark the task and tag as a complete, and these are the dependencies we are having. Okay, so now let's use this file and create a new tag. So let's open this again, so it is timed out. Okay, so go to our DAG folder. So where is our DAG folder? So it is in Airflow DAG. So we'll go to Airflow, go to DAGs. Okay, and here I will create final.py or final dag.py file name. Just paste and also confirm the DAG name which we are giving. So currently DAG name is load and transform view. So I'll just save it. Okay, and let's go to our Airflow. So currently there are 3 DAGs here. Okay, so load and transform view will come once we wait for 30 to 40 seconds. So let's wait for 30 to 40 seconds again, and once the DAG is available we'll start working on the DAG. So let's refresh and see if your DAG is available now. Okay, and our final DAG load and transform view is available here. Okay, let's check how it looks like, and you can see this is looking amazing now. So what it is doing now, it is checking the file is exist. If file exists, it is loading the data into a BigQuery. Then it is creating table for each of these countries. Once the tables are created, then it is creating view for each of this country, and at the end, if all these are successful, this success task will execute and it will mark our DAG as a success. So this is just kind of a dummy operator. Okay, so now let's go and check the timing again, how much total time it will take for our complete DAG execution. Okay, so now check the time, it's 7:40. Okay, I'll just trigger the DAG now. Go to graph view. Okay, so let's see, the first task completed, it picked up the file. Let's go to BigQuery, go to first is our staging. Okay, so it is running. So check if data is loaded into our staging global data table. Okay, it's loaded the data. Okay, so it's just taking time to load. Now it create table for all these countries. Let's monitor it first, and once all these stages are completed, we'll go back and check in the BigQuery. Okay, so all tables are created. Now it started creating the views, but view creation is failed. Let's check why. Okay, no matching signature for operator types boolean and string. So let's check what mistake we did. So I think we did a mistake here because we are treating it as a string. So let's check what is the data type here for availability of vaccine treatment. So availability of vaccine. Okay, so this is boolean, okay, not a string. So we have to remove this from the string and we have to give as a boolean. So we have to give as a false. Okay, so this will treat as a boolean. So let's go back here as well. Just do nano final DAG and change this here as well.
Where is the availability of vaccine? Yeah, here. Okay, I'll save it. And what I will do now, I'll just mark this tag as a failed. I'll mark this as a failed. Okay, so I just mark this as a failed. I'll just mark complete as a failed. Okay, and now I'll go for another tag, or I'll just delete this tag. Okay, and let's change the name here. So I'll just change the name. Final tag modified. Okay, and inside that also I will change the tag name so it will be easy. I'll just add final here. Okay, and let's wait for this again. So now once we refresh, this older one should go away and new one, the final, will come up here. Okay, now we can see the final load and transform is available here. Let's check in the code as well if our change code is reflecting here. So the file should be boolean one. Yeah, so this is boolean now. So now it should work. So let's go back to graph. Let's hide this and let's trigger the tag. Okay, now let's wait for this to complete. So file is picked up and now it is loading data into BigQuery. Let's check the time in BigQuery. So it is 12:50, 13:10, sorry, 13:10. So now once it is complete, I will refresh again. Okay, completed. So let me refresh. It should be around 13:17 or 80. Yeah, 13:17.55. So it is having latest data now. Now it is creating the table. So one by one it creates the table. So last time it failed on the create view. So let's see now this time what will happen. So let's see in the reporting layer we have anything. Okay, so currently in reporting layer we do not have anything, any views, because none of the task is completed for the create view. So it is still creating the table. Okay, now it start creating the views. Let's see, the first one is running. Let's see, this time it succeeded. Now you can see it succeeded. So all will succeed now because we resolved our error. So if we reload, we should see the view in our reporting dataset. So in reporting, yeah, you can see the views here. In staging we have global data, and in transform we are having table. So this is kind of our complete data warehouse is available here. Let's see if tags completed. Okay, so everything is completed. Now you can see it started the first task as 7:47 and it's 7:49. So within 1.5 or 2 minutes our DAG is completed successfully. You can see the data now in all our base table, that is in the staging data set. We created separate tables for each country and we created separate view for the reporting layer. So now this video is already getting longer, so what I will do, I will create part 2 of this video for creating the Looker Studio reports and dashboard. Okay, so we'll create Looker Studio reports and dashboard in our next part. So in next part I will show you, I will sharing the code, all the DAG files with you, and also the source file which contains the 1 million record. So I will share that in a next video. So thank you for watching this video and we'll see you again in a next video.